I forgive myself for the hurt I created. I am love and only love, radiating love and harmony to everyone.
I prepare to meditate on love. Love is one of the most sought after and satisfying experiences on the journey of life. And when we have it, the story of our life becomes meaningful. We become lit with joy from the inside. We become filled with a sense of celebration for everything around us. Turn my attention inwards right now, and I just imagine that feeling of love that I have felt so many times in this life. Visualize it as a light inside of me. Just hold that feeling and let it expand with each breath. I've felt love so many times in this life. I have felt love for the beauty of the natural world and the silence and the healing power that it offers. I immerse in my heart the love that I have felt in relationships for those people that have made me smile, that have brought me great joy and touched me with their qualities. I allow that feeling of love to continue to expand. Hold in my heart the love that I have felt when taking care of any living thing, and the love that I have felt when I have been taken care of. I also hold in my heart the love that I have felt when doing anything that I thoroughly enjoy, when I love something so much that I lose track of time, or the pure feeling that comes up when I observe anything innocent and precious. Hold the warmth of that feeling in my being. Whether I am loving a person, a scene of my life, or the natural world, there is one thing that is in common with all types of love. I always have a pure vision for that which I love. I see something valuable, something precious, something good in that which I am loving. This light of love that I feel within me comes from the soul. Radiates outward, and it gives a glow to the being. Sometimes people can be hard to love. They have been hurt by situations, by experiences, by setbacks and losses, and so they have buried their beauty beneath pain and fear. But I can still practice seeing with a vision of love. I can practice seeing beyond the mundane, beyond what's physically in front of me, into the beauty of any living being or scene of my life. I practice this vision of seeing something lovable and good in everything. I become easy. I begin to feel light. And that love touches every moment of my life. Comes the content of my own story, and I begin to lead a life full of meaning, joy, and celebration.
As I sit quietly, I allow my mind to become still. I watch my thoughts come into my mind, and then I gently let them go. I create space, openness, and stillness in my mind. Slowly, I become aware of my true nature. I am a being of light. I, the point of light, shine brightly in the center of my forehead. I sink deeply into that awareness and connect to my own essence of love. I feel love bubble up from deep inside the core of my being. As I sit absorbed in that love, I allow all heaviness to fall away. I become light and completely free. This inner love carries me upward beyond the confines of this physical world. I, the soul, emerge into a world of endless light. I am surrounded by love. I am totally still. I feel drawn into the lap of the eternal being of love. I am deeply connected to the Supreme Soul, the brightest star of love. In that connection, all needs for material things, for appreciation or acknowledgement, for praise or acceptance simply fall away. These desires for temporary happiness and love that I have felt onto so tightly for so long, I now realize are actually the opposite of love. In contrast to the limits of these desires, the true love of the Supreme Being is infinite and unconditional. Unconditional love, endless love flows to me from the Supreme. The Divine One sees me in my truest form, my deepest and most complete nature. He surrounds me in His light. All darkness, anything that is the opposite of love, is gently and completely washed away in this pure, divine, unconditional love. And as I slowly return to the awareness of the physical world around me, I bring with me the security and confidence of knowing that I am unconditionally, eternally, and completely loved. Om Shanti.
Hello, everyone. Greetings of peace. Om Shanti. Very warm welcome to Brahma Kumaris, Silicon Valley. We are kind of going over the series, Getting Out of the Cage, seeing how the self can be free, free to choose the kind of life they want, free to feel the way they want, and free to basically lead the kind of life they want. So that's what we've been focusing on. And last week we talked about how to get out of the cage called body. We'll continue that, we'll finish that, and then we will move into another topic today. Today is the fourth class. So as always, we'll get started first with a guided meditation. So request you all to join me. Let's take a comfortable posture. Head and back straight. Both feet touching the ground. and let go of the tension that you might be holding on to. The tightness, the tensions we hold in our body are very damaging. Meditation, silence helps in letting go and relaxing and understanding that nothing is more important than my own well-being. Because when I am well, I can make everything well. And if I can't make it, at least I remain well and don't disturb others. That itself is such a big service. Let's take a journey within and contemplate on our life. Most of the time goes in making physical earnings for the body. It's important to check what will go with me and what will have to be left behind. We are so in love with this costume called body that fear of death overwhelms us. Sometimes it suffocates us as to what might happen to my body. It's just a costume. I have to shed it. It is not mine. It is a gift from Mother Nature. And I, the living light, the soul, existed even before this body came into existence. My existence, my well-being doesn't depend on this body. What will go with me? What I have to leave behind? What is the earning of the soul? What is the earning of the body? I can buy many things for the body. Clothing, jewelry, accessories. I can buy many things for the comfort of the body. A grand, luxurious home, luxurious furniture, expensive car. I can connect to many people, build a huge social circle by over networking, over interactions. What will go with me? I can get a lot of education through this body, academics, art, sports. There is no end. What will go with me? Everything, including the name of the body, the relatives of the body, everything has to be left behind. And if I get caught up in the body and the bodily possessions, which are changeable, perishable, I will become imprisoned. I will constantly live in fear. What if I lose? What if this leaves me? So we start accumulating more. Greed emerges due to the fear that I might not have enough. We live as if we are never ever going to die. Death of the body is inevitable. Yes, it's a medium, a costume, an important possession. So I take care of it. But I have no attachment to it. I have no expectations from it. Decorating the body doesn't mean I have decorated myself. Body will age. Body will be sick. Body could be in pain. Body constantly has sensations, noise. It doesn't mean I, the soul, becomes that noise, becomes that pain, becomes that age and insecurity due to the age. I watch the body change, age, go through different kinds of comfortable health and uncomfortable health postures. I, the living light, who has the inner treasures of peace, joy, love, wisdom, purity, bliss, and power. I watch all the noise and the disturbance with deep silence. I watch the fear of the death that the mind is creating with fearlessness, with courage. The real wealth that I will take forward with me, which will go with the soul, is its personality, is the good it gave through its actions to others, the good it did in taking care of Mother Nature peacefully. These are the things that will go with me. Everything else will have to be shed, will have to be left behind. So where do I pay attention? On the body and bodily possessions, or on the soul, the real me, who's already beautiful, who's already perfect, who already has God's deepest love and regard? Should I enjoy my beauty? Or should I try to become beautiful through the body by having more connections, by having more name and fame? I choose to be ever beautiful with the ever beautiful Supreme. A very warm welcome, everyone, to class number 4. So today we will focus on how do expectations in relationships become a cage. I think this is a very obvious one. We will talk about it. But before that, let's get started with the body that we had left off last week. So let's go over that. So we talked about, the many heads of the body consciousness. This leads to many cages. So for example, our senses, the color, appearance, right? All of these different attributes of the body, they become a cage for us because we're trying to use these attributes to either feel peace, joy, or to feel respect in front of others. You know, that whether it is the appearance, it could be the age, it could be the gender, or we are feeling that discomfort due to the limitedness of the body. So there's a lot of prejudice, there is a lot of bias based on the body type, and that is why DEI and so many other organizations and programs have become very, very popular because we are openly seeing so much of injustice and this racialism due to the body and bodily attributes. It's utterly absurd and silly, but very, very prevalent in today's world. But it won't go away till we really don't understand who we are, because there is no equality in this world, and there doesn't need to be. In the physical world, there is no equality, but the awareness is wrong, and we will talk about that more. So when I am trying to prove myself to be worthy through perishable things, right? All of these things, whether it's my age or the age of the body, race of the body, the sensory organs, they all make us very dependent. I feel good till I'm watching something, till I'm chit chatting, till I'm listening to something, I feel good. This is the dependency on the senses. Or if you use your appearance, you feel good when your hair and face is good. The moment your body is going out of shape or whatever, or the color is not as per your liking, or your age is going down, immediately there's a feeling of this dependency. There's a lot of these disturbing emotions that we start seeing because of identifying with this false ego. These are the heads of the false ego that only generate all of these disturbing emotions. That is what happens when you are in a cage. You're either frustrated, you're either depressed, you are sad, you feel, completely hopeless. So this basically causes lethargy, the fear of death, worry about the health, depression about, losing your physical beauty or aging, jealousy for other people's physical appearance, and racism based on the attributes of the body. So this is what happens when we put ourselves in the cage of the body. So how do you get out of the cage, right? Because right now we are thinking, I am the body, and we keep using these sentences, I am tired, I am sick, and all of that. We saw that in the last class. So the only way to get out of it is to change, to shift my consciousness from being the body to the soul. This is the truth. Body is not my truth. And the moment you do that, you will start using the language, my body, my vehicle is tired, my vehicle is hungry, my vehicle needs a walk. I will take this vehicle to a walk, to a drive. This vehicle is aging, becoming old, but I am ever young, ageless. I have no limits. Body seems to be a little sick and tired, in pain. Yes, I will get it some rest if needed, but I am not tired. I am not sick. So important to separate both, because this separation is important because body is constantly changing. Law of thermodynamics, right? Everything that is new has to become old. And we all know with old age, there are a lot of issues that occur in the body. So whatever is happening to the body is not happening to the soul. That is important to know, that soul is a tiny light that is unchangeable, imperishable. And soul always, the soul consciousness awareness is of equality. Soul doesn't know extra respect for this person and less respect for this one, and for that one no respect. Soul has no clue of that. It is this masks of body consciousness we are wearing that is causing us to create oh, this feature looks like they're from Malaysia, or they're looking like they come from Korea, or they come from this, and then a big list of judgment. But when I see everyone as a point of light, there's nothing. There is really nothing. And even if you look at the difference, right, at the gross level, okay, Korean, Chinese, Malaysian, Indian, all different features, different body shape, different color, different hair color. But at the atom level, molecule level, aren't we all the same? Isn't the body the same? Isn't it made out of the same mud, air, fire, ether? How much time are we wasting in creating so many thoughts? Oh my gosh, from this country, they're like that. From this, mind does that. The soul needs to watch the mind and say, hey, I don't agree with your nonsense. That's so absurd. We are all the same. We are all molecules. And the reality is we are all living lights, equally lovable to God. This is when we are out of the cage. When I look at other person, I'll not start 10 number of thoughts. Oh, from India, they're like this. From America, they're like this. From Europe, they're like this. No such cage of dependencies, and completely free to feel that love. Cage always restricts when you will feel respect, when you will feel peace, when you will feel love. Cage always causes restrictions. So getting out of the cage of the body, it's important. This doesn't happen in overnight. One is knowledge, right? That I know now that I am not this matter. I'm not this molecules. I am a living light. But throughout the day, practicing is very important. And you can, like, for example, before drinking a glass of water, these are some thoughts I will create about who I am. Meghna generally always tries to pay attention. I am not eating. I'm feeding the body. Through its own hand, body's hand, I'm using, feeding the body. I am not cleaning the dishes. I'm not doing any household chores. I am making this body do the work. There is a huge difference. Otherwise, Meghna, in a few years back, she would be overwhelmed with the number of responsibilities she had. Even now, if I don't pay attention, because there's just too much to do here in America, you can't afford any kind of helper, like bare minimum. So expensive. So you're doing everything, right? The shopping, the household, the office, the kids, everything, all by yourself. So if I keep thinking, I have to drive the kids, I have to take them here, I have to do this, I have to do, then you are overwhelmed. No, you are not really doing anything. You're making this body do it. So body is your server. You're just the master. And then, yes, I'm kind to my server. I tell the server, man, you've done fantastic job. Don't worry, I'll get you some extra rest tonight. You'll get some good rest. But right now we have to keep working. There's still a lot of things to do. I am not walking. I get the body some exercise. I take the body to a drive. Very clear. Very, very clear. Then this body will not pull you. The hunger will not pull you. I have to watch something will not pull you. Nothing will pull you when you create this distance between who you are and what this body is. And throughout the day for me, whether it is before drinking water, before eating something, or before starting a conversation with someone, or before getting into a meeting at work, for me, this will be there. Who am I? Few seconds, just few seconds. Don't forget. Because when you remember you are a living light, you will start seeing others as equal to you. No ego that you are this versus I am that. Even at work, right? Like the position, oh, I am level 4, you're level 6, you're level 7, oh, you're level 3. There's so much of this very subtle disrespect for each other, or this superiority or inferiority constantly occurring. So very important throughout the day, remembering your truth. It generates so much of egolessness, humility, and this is like getting out of the cage. I am free to experience my truth. truths of the soul is peace, love, and joy. How much are we experiencing our truth? That's why many people don't believe that the soul's nature is peace, love, and joy, because they are in the cage. In cage, there is limit. You can't. That's why they can't experience. But when you change your consciousness, you can experience. Any thoughts or questions so far? Is this making sense? Okay, thank you for confirming. Wonderful. I really hope, that you give it a try, practically give it a try. Just pick 2 or 3 activities in a day that you do every day, and that you will practice just seeing yourself as a light here, right? And see what difference it makes you in your entire day. It's a guarantee that it'll make a huge difference. Try seeing your family member as an equal. Your child is not younger than you. The body is younger, but the child, the soul behind the child is not younger than you. If at all you want to see younger, then you can say, okay, younger brother, but not really your child. So that is the cage, right? Very important. Ultimate liberation is surrenderance, right? Complete surrenderance. And who do we surrender to? If I want ultimate liberation from the cage called body, who do I surrender the body to? Baba. Yes, thank you. The Supreme, right? And we lovingly at Brahma Kumaris call him Baba. Many religions, many cultures also call God as Baba. It's a universal word. God generates because of the kind of publicity and kind of you can call it religious preaching or the human preaching. It's created a lot of division and fear and misunderstanding in the name of God. So a lot of time God doesn't give us that kind of proximity and love like we would feel for a father, and that's why Baba is a better word to use. And so considering this to be a gift from the Supreme, and you're just the trustee of the body, so know this heaviness, oh my gosh, today this backache, what is going on. Meghna personally had some or the other health, nothing major, but some health or issue from Thursday, and then Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and I was like feeling that joy because I'd given it to the Supreme. And obviously whatever I could do, but sometimes you just can't do anything. It just has to take its time to heal. And if it is something serious, obviously this is such a wonderful gift from God, so I will get it the medical attention it needs. But I am taking the body and going. I am not sick. This body is sick. So that's distance. The more distance you maintain, your body heals so much more faster than it would. And in addition to that, everybody who's around you, they don't feel that disturbing vibes coming from you. They feel that you're completely fine. And if they ever find out that you were actually sick for those 3-4 days or 1 week, they would be shocked because they had no clue. Imagine how much good this soul is accumulating by having that kind of tolerance power. It comes by saying it is God's. He gives you that strength. That pain from thousandfold becomes like reduces by thousandfold, that pain, because you have entrusted the entire body, its problem to him. Now, just like a trustee, I will do the needful, but I'm not going to be disturbed because I know nobody could take it, nobody else could fulfill taking care of the body better than the Supreme. This certainly requires a lot of faith, and it's not for the sake of saying it. It's literally staying light. And as the fear comes in the mind, or that pain is, you are feeling it, immediately invoke the Supreme. That golden red light area where there's a tiny dot, the Supreme, the most beautiful being, invoke and tell him, see, your mind and body are disturbing, they're trying to disturb me. It's yours, you take care, give it back again. So mind will try to pull you. Will try to say, hey, doesn't look like Baba is doing anything. You better do all of these things. No, it is his. I'm going to check with him and do whatever I have to do. I only feed things that I offer to God. So yeah, maybe all the religions, I don't know whether you have it or not. Maybe this is specific more to India and maybe some other countries. So maybe I'm here not being very clear. Good that you brought up. So back in India, there's a lot of this culture of, before you eat your dinner or any meal, a lot of people, or at least the morning one meal, at least they will offer it to God. Some people do every meal. At Brahma Kumaris, every meal that we cook, we offer it to God. That is, he's my child too, all relationship with him. So he's my child, he's my father, he's my everything. So we always give it to him. And the whole idea is that that food becomes totally energized. And now I'm taking that food, energized food, and giving it to God's body. So we generally in India, when we offer to God, we don't offer anything that is made out of onion, garlic, or meat. So it's always vegetarian food, which is dairy is okay. That's the kind of food is called sattvic food. And most meditations I've known, they all follow this diet. It's not just meditation at Brahma Kumaris, even Buddhist meditation, there's no onion, no garlic, and I've known others also. Nobody will eat onion, garlic, or meat if you want good vibrations. So, because it is his body, what kind of food do I offer to him? That is the kind of food that will go to this body, which is also a gift from the Supreme. So the offer the food to God is everything we eat. But like I said, it's vegetarian. So no meat, no egg, and then no onion and no garlic, because onion and garlic have a lot of passion in them in general. It disturbs the mind. It will get it into excitement and then bring down the energy very quickly. That is why people who generally practice meditation will not have that. And I think we talked about this before too, that there's been a lot of research where they do recommend to the pilots too to not have garlic before taking a flight because it clouds your judgment to some extent. It's not mandated yet, but they say if you can avoid it, um, it's better to avoid it. So that's what onion and garlics do. No, this pilot thing is universal. It's not just in India. And the onion and garlic, research upon all kinds of meditation techniques, they will all say onion and garlic are not good. This is not coming from India. India indeed is the most ancient nation, and so it knows the most educated, I feel, food wise, yoga wise, a lot of culture and art wise. Um, that's great that you already are, eating mostly the sattvic food, which is wonderful. Um, yeah, I mean, science always does that, right? It's good for you, and later the research shows, oh, this was good, but a lot of other damage occurred. What is damaging to the soul will eventually damage the body also. That is my belief. But yeah, doctors are always catching up. They're always catching up. But eventually they will. So there was a lot of study about, hey, eat protein. Afterwards, there was research about too much protein is not good for you. So science is always evolving. It always keeps changing its story. Earlier, when cigarettes came into the market, they didn't disclose a lot of information on how damaging and addicting it could be. Slowly, all of this information comes out, right? By then, the damage is already done. But a lot of the ancient thing already talks about this. It does stir passion. And this is my personal experience too. When I started meditating and I was still, because at Brahma Kumaris, they don't give strict guidance, it's recommendation. So when I continued eating the outside food, the onion and garlic, I could immediately see that heat in me because I'd started meditating. I'd started going towards the path of truth and peace. Till we are immersed in all of that, you can't catch it. It's part of you, right? You're totally part of all of that ecosystem. But the moment you step out and then still continue to feed yourself all of that, you can feel that difference and that heat that it's generating in you. But this is again something to try and see. If you go 1 week without it, how does it feel? So let's move on to this relationships now. And let's talk about this. Why do we have expectations in relationships? What's the prime reason for that? In relationships, why do we have expectations from each other? Marriage is type of a contract. So in that contract, we kind of agree, hey, what I will do and what you have to do. Is that what it is? It's like a business deal. And I've heard, right, like here, the thoughts like a fairy tale. In some culture, yes, that's true. In some culture, they even have a formal agreement written, right? Whatever is mine will remain mine. Whatever is yours will remain yours. So it's like a real business deal. There is no trust in that when you're writing a contract, right? Such a relationship is standing already on such a weak foundation, no trust. So how long it will last is a big question mark. Yeah, prenuptial agreement, absolutely. Any other thoughts here? What are some reasons we expect? Let's take everything, right? Whether it's a parent, child, sibling, manager, employee, friends. Why do we have expectations in relationship? Just think about your one particular relationship and see, do you have any expectation? And ask yourself, what is that? Why do you have that expectation? What happens when that expectation gets met or doesn't get met? That will give you the answer. Every human seeks something, and very good. What does the human being seek? We expect that our friends will be there for us, okay? To be proud of the achievement. Yeah, we expect them to be proud. Yeah, we expect our family to be there for us. Yes. Why do we expect them to be there for us? Then we will feel special. Then we will feel loved. Yes, when they help us, then we feel they care for us. So if that doesn't happen, then what? Isn't this a dependency? That I will feel special, I will feel cared, I will feel loved. Isn't this a dependency on someone? Any kind of dependency means I'm putting myself in a cage. And yes, in the beginning, this might sound like a bit of a very complex thing. Oh my gosh, how can you be without depend? You're living in this world. Can you not? How can you be if you're not dependent? You have to be dependent. You are in a society. You are in a family. The pressure of workplace. If we trust in God, then we will not expect from anyone. Very nice. Um, so this expectations, right? Many people say, this, they'll say it's normal. Everybody does it. Who doesn't have expectations? It's so normal. Isn't it natural to have expectation from my spouse, from my child, from my parents, from my sibling, from my dear friend? It is my right. They need to do that. Come on, we are such close relatives. And like one of you said, contract, right? A give and take, a business deal. So obviously it is, that's why I have expectations. Or is it because my sense of worthiness, ego? Ego is what? Identification of the self. But in current world, our identification is wrong. Like we saw that 10 heads of the body attributes, right? That is my identification. I'm running around with my skin kind, my body kind, my race kind, my nationality, my gender. That is the ego. So my ego, because it's false, it is so limited. It has limited time. It has so much of inequality. Everybody is different. So I feel threatened. Since there is no equality, man, your features are better, your race is better, or your gender is better. Constant feeling of threaten. So this expectations we have because my sense of worthiness depends on it. My happiness depends on it. My feeling of being loved, taken care of depends on it. So every time this word depend comes, means there is a cage. And in cage, there is suffocation, which means you can't feel peace, love continuously. You'll get little bit, then stop, little bit, stop. Cultural norms also enforce societal expectation. When you not perform at your work, you can lose it, okay? It is habituated because our cultural norms enforce society norms and rules. True, true. And that's why it's important to call it out, right? That, okay, whatever the society has decided, whatever the world is doing, do I also want to do it? We are all kind of, doing the same old thing that everybody is doing. And everybody is ending up in the same state like me. So we'll go a little bit deeper into this, just this diagram again to kind of call out the number of heads we might be wearing, the false ego heads. These are all the different roles we are playing in relationships, right? So these are all the different heads. And each head, because it's a limited head, because it is trying to feel, I am that, beautiful daughter who my parents are very proud of. I am that spouse who is so caring about the partner. I am that manager who really looks after their employees, will do anything to take care of them. Everything, if you see here, it makes me automatically dependent on a different person to feel good, to feel worthy. If my son is not doing that well and I'm trying to feel a worthy parent, can I feel a worthy parent? If the son is doing terrible? No. So that's why I become dependent. I come with a bowl in all of these relationships. Hey, my name is on the line. My happiness is on the line. You all better do what I expect. Otherwise, I can't feel worthy. Do you think we can live without expectation and success in something? Absolutely. Indeed, this the societal norm, like you've said, and this mind which is very habituated, it will automatically start expecting. So yes, it takes time to get out of it, but once you start the journey, the kind of freedom and lightness you feel, right, that people can be the way they want, they can perform the way they want. My worthiness is not dependent on them at all. My happiness is not dependent on them at all. And it because it makes me so light, I actually take care of that relationships really well because I am not disturbed. I am satisfied. I feel worthy. I can now help you. Versus if I am feeling starved, my bowl is empty. I'm looking for you to give it to me. Where am I in a position to give to you? If I, the mother, is feeling disturbed because of something that's happened to the son, maybe physically ill, or maybe some relationship issues, if I am ill and my bowl is empty, what help can I provide to that son? I'll be very fearful and I might be, you better do this, you better take care, otherwise you might fall further sick. I'll be all nervous wreck, even when I'm guiding that child. So this release of the attachment, right, of that dependency. Very nice, Melanie. Thank you for sharing that. So when we are dependent on others in relationship to feel worthiness, to feel joy, then these disturbing emotions are very normal. This cage of expectations and relationship causes emptiness. Why? Because the people who are trying to fulfill each other, they are in that give and take relationship. the spouse are the best example. I gave you so much. How much are you going to give me? It doesn't happen obviously in that gross manner, but it's a very subtle, constant registration. I did this, this, and this. I've been doing more than that partner has done for me. So it's a sense of emptiness because both are expecting. Both the bowls are empty, and from that empty bowl, we are trying to give to each other. It's not at all satisfying. Anger, whenever the desires are unmet, or I gave more and you've given very little. I have gone out of my way to do nice things for you and you've only done little. There is this frustration or depression because I only feel love. I only feel joy when you are around me. Now, the time the child is separating or the child is not wanting to do anything because they like friends more, which is so normal. But for a parent whose only way to feel worthiness, love, or joy is through the child, they feel very insecure. Many parents, especially moms who are at home, they go in depression because for them everything was their child, and now suddenly child is out of the life, and child doesn't care anymore or doesn't have the time to care. And this mother is thinking, what is the sense of my purpose? Why am I here? Why am I existing? Dependency. It also creates a lot of greed and jealousy because everything of mine should do well. My kids should have more. My family should have more. Everything good should happen to me. This very subtle, very, very subtle. If we are not actively meditating, we might not even notice that how much of this attachment to my relative is there. That we want everything good and best only to happen to whatever is mine. So this is the many heads of relationship. These expectations then become a cage. And what, like you all said, right? What is the society expecting? What is the world expecting? What will people say? If I don't do this, I won't be called a good spouse. I won't be called a good parent. I won't be called a good child. What have you done? Your parents are getting old and look at you. You don't find any time. We keep thinking it's a cage. I am not doing anything for what the society will think or world will think. I will do what is my own principle, what is my own value. I don't do it to show it to the world. I don't love you because what will the world think? That is so manipulated and so such dishonest way of showing love, right? Let the world think I'm a bad. If the world wants to think I'm a bad mother, they will anyways think. At least let me do it my way. Let me not put myself in this cage. So many of the things as parents, people here do because they think if my child doesn't learn this XYZ thing, what will the world think? The world will think I'm such a bad mother. I didn't even teach my child this, this, and this. I have to check. Am I foolishly just following whatever the world expects? Does it really make sense? And do I need to prove to the world where there are millions or billions of people that I am right, that I'm a good mother? It doesn't need to be proven. Again, very powerful quote. Truth reveals itself magically to the entire world. But if you stubbornly try to prove it, more people will disbelieve you. The more you try to prove you are a good sibling, good this, good that, the more there will be a struggle. Let it be naturally out. Indeed, you are special. Indeed, you care. Let that genuineness show on its own way. What will the relatives think? What will happen to my reputation? All of these things, right? I'm trying to do again. Where am I living? In a world where people and their emotions are changing. Sometimes they're happy, sometimes they are in sorrow, duality. All the relationships are so transient these days. It's based on inequality. There's so much of inequality, uncertainty, perishability. Any relationship can end at any moment. Death is one example, But even while we are alive, people can say, hey, I don't want to do anything with you anymore. So living in this world, being dependent on human being, it becomes a cage. So here, why it becomes a cage? Because my joy, my self-respect, it all depends on what I give and receive. It's not just about receiving. Many of us have this other ego. I didn't do this for my child. I didn't do that for my parent. I was not a good spouse. I was not a good friend. Okay, maybe you were not. You reflected, good, you caught it. Now is the time to fix it. Nobody is perfect. Life is the best teacher. I learned. Let me now course correct. But the cage of ego, I should have been a better mother, better daughter. That's why all of those masks need to be dropped, because those masks will not allow me to see the beauty that I already am, the respect that I already have. These masks that I'm wearing of parent, child, employee, manager, they're all dependent on this, on these factors, which are so many and so erratic. We don't know when they will judge me to for what. And I'm part of that world. So we are not trying to say I don't judge. Meghna did her good share and continues to judge if she's not careful, right? If she's not paying attention on who she is, she still continues to judge, and that mind runs. So we are all, kind of judging each other. So this becomes a cage. Expectations becomes a cage when I rely on people to feel good, to feel respected. That's when it becomes a cage. Now, this is a very powerful quote from Albert Einstein. Insanity, definition of insanity from Albert Einstein. Doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. And Meghna was certainly in this insanity world where she kept trying in relationships, in life in general, same thing, slightly different, but just doing the same thing, trying to say good things to people, trying to do more nice things for the people, trying to be more polite, trying to buy maybe more gifts, planning maybe some social outing. She pretty much did the same thing over and over again, and she was hoping she would get different results, but she didn't. She would sometimes have harmony, sometimes conflicts, and she won't understand, man, what happened? That formula is not working. So, what is that same thing we are all doing again and again? When I said at the action level, anybody else can guess what is that same thing we are all doing in relationships, but we are expecting different results. That different results is obviously constant love, constant peace, constantly feeling special. Any guesses for what is that same thing we are all doing but expecting different results? My way of thinking, okay. Nagging, thinking I'm a body. There you go. Yes. Yeah, nagging is another thing that Meghna did. In a very subtle manner. She thought she doesn't nag, but she did. Maybe not relatively, maybe less, but she did nag. Thinking I'm a body. Yes. So then the same old method of expectation in relationship invite harmony or conflict, because most of the people in the world think, how can you live in a relationship if you don't have expectation? At least little bit expectation we should have. Most people you talk to will say this. Very normal. It's all right. Obviously, from my parents, will if I not expect, whom will I expect from? So most people say, yes, it's okay to depend on each other. We should be dependent. Say, if you see in the world, they talk about women liberation, right? I'd say this many times: women liberation, financial liberation, physical liberation. But emotionally, yeah, we should be dependent. Relationship, yes, we should be dependent. Expectation means we should be dependent on each other. Where there is dependencies, wherever the dependency is met, you'll feel harmony. Wherever the dependency doesn't get met, you will feel conflict. What is happening in this world is both the parties have expectation. Parent have expectation, child has expectation. Both are sitting with a bowl in their hand. So there's going to be a conflict, right? Because you'll say, I've already put too much in your bowl. That other person will say, I've put too much in your bowl. This is the kind of relationship we are getting into. Okay, very nice. BK advocating detached from the cages, job expectation people, changeable. What is the aim of life if not to give and receive love? Maybe the aim is to give and receive love in life unconditionally, understanding we're all go to Baba at the end of our lives anyway, and that's where we came from. See, you can actually enjoy each other only when you are not dependent on them. If we are not saying in Brahma Kumaris, one of the biggest teaching is to not leave your family or not to leave your job. That's not the teachings at Brahma Kumaris. Lot of folks who want to pursue this spiritual path, they leave everything. They have family, job, they leave everything and say, I am fed up of this. I want to leave everything and go, and they go away. Many people do that. That is not the path. It's about living in this world, doing everything, but my emotions are not dependent on you. I'm going to take care of the family. I'm going to go and work so that I have the finances, but I'm not going to have. And yes, I will have, even at home with the child, I will have certain disciplines which are called expectations that, hey, these are the rules of the house. And you might choose not to meet or you might choose to cheat, dear child, but there are consequences for it. But I'm not going to be disturbed. My emotions are not dependent on those rules being met or not met. Those rules are not a way for me to feel good. See, I, the boss, child, listen to me. If child doesn't listen, I'm disrespected. Absolutely not. Child or nobody has the power to make me feel disrespected. That is the change we want. That change will not come till you keep thinking of yourself as a parent or as a child or as a spouse or whatever you want to think. If you think of yourself in that limited manner, automatically those expectations emerge in us. So for me, it's yes, I have the rules. Oh, you're not going to obey them? These are the consequences. These are the privileges that will go away from you. The child might be mad, the child might throw a tantrum. All right, but these rules are not for me to show that I am the boss of the house, but these are for your safety or for your well being. They are important. But my emotions are not getting worked up because my child is arguing or my child is saying, hey, you need to change the rule. Yes, I will listen. Good recommendation from the child. Yes, I might even change the rule or I might drop the rule. Maybe my child will explain why that rule is unreasonable. So that insanity that is happening is we are in that same body and role consciousness, which automatically will always emerge expectations. Remember those 10 heads trying to stand on the pedestal. I'm the best mother, I'm the best employee, I'm the best this because I give so much or because I received so much. No more of that. That consciousness, if I keep using that consciousness, it will Indeed, we have to give everyone the space to be. Their ideas could be different. At work too, everybody is coming, like especially in today's world, because of this virtual connections. I am constantly working from at least 10 different people from 10 different countries on a daily basis. And so many of them are immigrants to this country, right? Including me. I'm an immigrant here. So yes, there is always going to be this differences due to culture, personality, all of the upbringing factors. And if I am my every point, I'm saying something and you're not agreeing, I'm getting upset because my point is right. Indeed, your point could be right. But people might not agree. They might, in fact, oppose it for no reason. Should my emotions get worked up? That is the dependency there. And that dependency will be out of me when I change my consciousness. Otherwise, we continue to stay in the cage. We are all out of time and we will talk tomorrow, next week, last class, we will talk about what is that consciousness? Obviously, you all know it is soul consciousness, but what part of the soul consciousness we need to move in relationships so that I'm not dependent on others. What would be the difference between to discipline child or staff to make things happen in the right way and expectation? So when you're, with your staff, right? Like suppose Meghna's role at work is she has to lead without authority. The kind of role Meghna is playing, she has to lead without the authority. So she's not the manager, but she has to work with others where she's asking them to get certain things done, right? So Meghna's method is obviously she meets with them, she tries to understand, she says the deadlines are this and this and this, right? And then if the deadline is getting, obviously before the deadline check and all of that, and if the deadline is getting missed and it's getting missed another time, then I have to let this person know that, hey, you know what, this is the criticality of the project. If you think you're going to miss it, we just need to get the management, your management, my management involved so that we can get additional resources, because this is the strict timeline. So without my emotions getting disturbed that, hey, I already told you twice, you're not getting it, why are you not getting it, you must be lazy. No, that is the consciousness of I, the program manager, or I, the whatever your role might be, is in the worthiness of this role is in danger. It could be, who cares? I am in respect, I am in regard all the time. So without my emotions getting disturbed, I let this person know and say, hey, so we'll get additional resources, let me reach out. This person might say, hey, don't need to reach out tomorrow for sure, I'm getting done. All right, great. But whatever the delay has occurred, why it has occurred, I'm going to be honest there. I'm going to let them know that it took extra time than what we thought here. I'm not going to call out that person, but I'll say this task took extra, and everybody knows who had to do that task. I'm not trying to put anyone under the bus, but at the same time, I'm trying to be honest. Bottom line is, if my emotions are getting disturbed, which is again habituated way, mind will do it. But it takes practice for us to get out, because we are so tied up in everything, right? Oh my gosh, my worthiness at work. Oh my gosh, my worthiness at home. Oh my gosh, my worthiness at the society with friends. We don't even realize it. And for some of us, not all of these things might be a cage. Maybe only one of them could be a cage. For some of us, it could be more of a cage at home. For some of us, maybe the cage is more at work. And for some of us, maybe the cage is everywhere. We are all different. First step is to recognize, where is my cage? And ask myself, why do I feel that, right? Why do I feel upset if this person has not done their work? Why do I feel upset if the child is disobeying or actually hiding things from me? Why? So Actually, I also wanted one feedback from all of you. We are thinking of this, that maybe for the next series, not for this series, but for the next series, we were thinking that maybe we will request all of you to keep your cameras on. Would you be interested in something like that, to keep the cameras on? And we want to do a little bit also more publicity on the social media. So that's why also we wanted to see if we could put things on. All right, that's good to know. Also, just as an FYI, if you want to follow us on our social media platforms, these are all the links if you want to get connected. Here we post some good thoughts, some short videos, and things like that. Yeah, camera would be optional. Obviously, you would be able to switch it on or off. But right now, like for example, you can't even switch it on, right? But if you make the Zoom thing as a webinar, there is no option to make it. Yes, you would still have the option to switch off or on the camera, but we just give you the option. Right now, you don't even have. So that's why we thought we will do that. And also, if you can, share your feedback about the series, because we would also like to post your your feedback onto the blogs, sorry, on the social media. And if you are okay with your name being called out in the social media, we can do that. We can and we can also send you that, hey, this is the post we did about your feedback, about Brahma Kumaris, about these series. If you have any feedback, there's no promise that every feedback will be posted. It's a separate group that does all this publicity, so they will look at the feedback and they will choose the ones that they want to post. It can be anonymous post, or it could be a post that has your name, if you are okay with it. Yes, absolutely. Or anonymous, whatever you prefer. There is no, some people like to, they don't mind. So it's completely your comfort level. That's the bottom line. So you can even mention in the feedback that, hey, I wouldn't want my name to come up, or you could just say that I want to go anonymous, right? Just in that name itself, you can say that. Whatever you feel comfortable. And so that would be nice. That way, we want to see how we can get more people. Basically, that's the idea, to benefit from all of these programs we have. And now that the new center here is opening in June, we will have a lot more retreats and workshop. So we're trying to build up to that, and your feedback will certainly help. Um, I hope you all can be creative in the feedback about Brahma Kumaris. That would be very much appreciated. So we'll continue to remind you all to give us this feedback and this, because we're just trying to do some marketing campaign here. So just wanted to let you know about that. Any other thoughts or questions about today's class? No, my pleasure. Thank you for that. Yeah, the center, I mean, it's just we are pending some permits and all of that, um, and we are hoping all those permits will clear out soon. And then end of June is where we are having a big, the date has already been fixed of when that inauguration will take place. Yes, it is still in the Milpitas, but it's that big one that got reconstructed. All right, so if you have a minute, please stay back for a short guided meditation. Fresh air, open sky, and I flying in the sky with my two arms. That's such a fantastic, blissful experience. When I fly like this, everybody in relationship with me also feels that freedom, that space, their own sky, their own fresh air to fly. And yes, we meet each other, we be with each other. And we work together We can't work alone in a society or in a family. We need each other to get things done, especially bigger things done. More hands, more creative heads make more beautiful things. But creativity comes from a space of freedom, from a space of emotional stability, from a space of respect for each other. And that is what getting out of the cage does. Makes us powerful, connects us to our core, and also helps us see the beauty of the others. We are all free, beautiful birds living in this beautiful planet Earth beneath the sky. We are free to fly. Thank you all for joining me today. Hope you have a freedom-filled week next week. We'll see you next week for the last session. Take care, everyone. Om Shanti.